James Maxwell, Dr. Ginger Hamster on the Twitter and Minds.com. Coming across a lot of these feminist videos, and what really makes me sad about this one is this very intelligent, articulate, beautiful young woman, a senior in high school, is already indoctrinated with the feminist bullshit. I mean, this woman here, she's about ready to go off to college. And it honestly makes me sad that she's going to get into college. The indoctrination is going to go into hyperdrive. She's probably going to shave her freaking hair. She's probably going to put tattoos and face jewelry and mar her body, walk around in, frumpy clothes because she doesn't want men looking at her boobs. There's some crazy shit. God almighty, this disease is out of control, people. Let's see what Claire Terrio has to say. This is a TEDx talk, TEDx Eden High School. Let's jump right in.
If not me, then who? And if not now, then when?
Emily Watson.
These two questions are the reason I stand before you today. I say this because it would be a blatant lie to tell you it was easy for me to get up here and to speak about what I feel compelled to speak about.
What? Stage fright? What are you talking about? I mean, it's a free country. You can say whatever you want. We want to hear your thoughts. I mean, that's part of the fun, right? At least I think so.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't concerned about what you all might think or feel of me for what I want to say.
Okay.
But I also would be lying if I said these concerns that I have are more important to me than this issue.
Let's look at the title of the video, people. It says, I'm not a feminist, but ... Let's continue.
I would be lying if I said my image in your eyes was more important to me than the topic at hand. So here I am.
Yes.
And the irony of it all is that these fears that I have are the exact reason it's so important that I speak anyway.
Fears of what?
These fears have been ingrained in me since I was little. However, I can actually pinpoint the exact moment they really set in.
Okay, I think we're getting to some feminism now.
I was sitting in my grade 10 English class one day, listening to a girl give a speech about feminism.
What a surprise that they would have girls give speeches about feminism in high school. Who would have guessed that?
The boy beside me snickered and mumbled something to his friend, betting on whether or not she was a lesbian.
Well, some feminists are lesbians. That's fine. You can be a lesbian or not. Doesn't matter. That's all cool. But these are boys, right? They're 10th grade boys. They're silly. Boys will be boys.
The other boy laughed, and they continued on like that the entire time she gave her speech. And I sat there, listened to all she had to say, and found myself agreeing with many of her valid points.
Are you going to share with us a few of these valid points, Claire? Are you?
But yet, after hearing those boys, something had changed.
Okay.
In the discussion that followed, I no longer simply felt comfortable just stating that I agreed with what she had said. Now I felt compelled to clear the air first.
So we have a new, freshly minted feminist right here.
I'm not a feminist, but yes, I believe in gender equality.
Okay, wait, that's fantastic. Me too, and I'm not a feminist either. I believe everyone should be equal and have equal rights, and you know what the best part about that, Claire? Ms. Terrio, you know what the best part is? We already do. Isn't that wonderful?
I wouldn't call myself a feminist, but I definitely think women should have a say in laws that affect their bodies.
Claire, Ms. Terrio, women do. Women have had the vote since 1920, something like about almost 100 years ago. So women can vote for politicians that they agree with on issues like reproductive health and whatever. They have that power. Claire, women are over 50% of the population in the United States. So if you want to all get together and elect people who are big into abortion or whatever, you're unstoppable at this point.
No, feminist is too harsh. I just believe that women should be paid equally for doing the same work.
Here's another good bit of news for you, Ms. Terrio. They are. Oh my God, you've been brainwashed into this wage gap. It's not a wage gap, it's an earnings gap. Now, young lady, if you are wise, you won't take gender studies or women's studies or some other bullshit when you get into college this fall. You'll take engineering, or maybe become a lawyer, or become a doctor, or become whatever the hell you want. And whatever career you pick freely, your own volition, whatever you want to take in college, you take. But on the other end of that, if you don't take a career that is in demand, that pays well, you're not going to earn the same as a man, say, as an engineer. If you're in the gender studies and French basket weaving and lesbian dance studies, and your buddy there, John, takes engineering, he's going to be making 4 times the salary you are making. It's not a wage gap, it's an earnings gap. If you major in engineering like your buddy John, you will be paid exactly the same. Actually, maybe a little more, but okay.
This mindset continued for me throughout high school.
Yeah.
And I felt comfortable with this because literally almost everyone I met spoke the same way about feminism.
So you're in an indoctrination camp, is what you're saying.
It's such a taboo in our society because of the stigma and stereotypes associated with the word.
No, it has nothing to do with the word. It has to do with the actions of feminists. That's why it has a stigma. It's not that most people are against equal rights for men and women and for gay people, black people, all of that stuff. Miss Terrio, that has been the law in the United States and most Western countries for the better part of 50 or 60 years. You have it already. So when feminists come to us and say, women are oppressed because we don't have equal rights, what the hell are they talking about?
I was blind to the fact that I was a walking contradiction, saying one thing and believing another. I was so ignorant and concerned about preserving my image in the eyes of my peers and society around me that I turned my back on my beliefs and my values.
The feminism, I guess, is what you mean.
But it wasn't until recently that I even realized this. I was on Twitter one day and I saw a link to Emma Watson's speech at the UN promoting the He for She campaign.
Oh, God.
So I watched it. And she spoke about feminism in a way that I had never heard before.
Really?
She explained that feminism, by very definition, is the political, social, and economic equality of the genders.
We have that already. Claire, it's been the law for 60 years. For the love of sweet Jesus, in the Western world, we are equal under the law. Now, in some other countries, that is not the case. And we'll get to that shortly.
She then asked 2 questions that I will never forget. If not me, then who? And if not now, then when?
Yeah.
These 2 questions are the reason I'm standing on this stage today. Feminism is the movement for the equality of the genders, and although our society is so advanced and modern in some respects, we still have a very long way to go when it comes to this one.
Really? In what way? Are you going to outline? You have a list, you have a bullet point, a PowerPoint presentation with bullets on it. Here are the things we need to do in the United States, Claire. What are these things, please? Could you help me out?
And I apologize, for I know fully well that I'm not nearly as eloquent or as articulate as Emma Watson.
No, actually, you're great. You're fantastic.
Maybe it's the lack of British accent, I don't know.
That's it.
But perhaps my story will resonate with you as hers did with me. See, I'm just a person who believes women around the world have a right to education.
Okay, now, Claire, I understand what you're saying, and I get it. There are some countries where women are not allowed to get educated. But the assumption in what you say is that somehow men are allowed education. There are a lot of countries in the world, neither of the sexes get an education beyond a few grades. These are backward-ass countries. So by saying, well, women should have yes, they should, but so should men. It should be both. But that's not what feminism talks about, Claire.
I'm just a person who believes that men should be respected equally for their role as parents.
Great. Yeah, fantastic. I'm with you.
And I'm just a person who believes there should be an equal representation of both genders in politics.
Claire, you are about to turn 18 years old, or maybe you're 18, doesn't matter. Soon you will be able to vote. Vote for women, if that's what you want in the Senate and the House and the whatever, dog catcher. Vote for your favorite candidate. If you want to vote for women, vote for women. You have that right already.
And I'm just a person who believes women should be paid equally for doing the same work as men.
Good thing they are. Let's continue.
And I personally plan on bringing children into this world someday, and with that being said, I have to believe in a better future.
Good. You got to have hope for the future. You're a young woman. I mean, you're just starting out here. You know, we got to make the future brighter and better, and that's fantastic. I'm with you wholeheartedly.
A future where it's no longer possible in any culture for 6-year-old girls to be sold off into marriages with full-grown men.
Okay, you know, I'm completely with you here. I mean, that's a barbaric, ancient practice. Can we name which particular cultures deal in that sort of thing, Claire? Would you like to point at a map and tell us which countries allow this practice to continue? Would you like to do that? Is it Christian nations? Is it Jewish nations? Is it Buddhist nations? Shinto? Can you name which culture might be doing this in 2017? Claire? No, you won't do that.
A future where it's no longer possible for a man to brutally rape a woman behind a dumpster and be walking free out of jail in just 3 months.
Brock Turner did not rape not in the sense that you just pointed out. He evidently put his fingers inside the woman and tried to have sex with her. He didn't succeed in the crime. However, he was found guilty of some other crime, not rape, sexual. I don't remember what it was. And he received 3 months in jail. And you know what most people think about that particular case, Claire? We think it's bullshit, just like you. He should have served more time in jail. But that's our legal system. Sometimes it makes mistakes. Oh, like the football player, the NFL prospect in California. A woman claimed he raped her. He spent several years in prison. Did you hear about this one, Claire? And the woman admitted to him on Facebook, of all places, that she made the whole thing up. Did you hear about that one? For every Brock Turner you can come up with, Claire, I can come up with a man falsely accused of rape and jailed for it. Or he's falsely accused of rape and his life is ruined. I understand the Brock Turner thing was a bad situation, and I agree with you 100%. But let's not be so closed-minded as to think things don't work the other way as well. False accusations are real.
A future where it's no longer common practice in any society for babies to be killed simply because they're female.
Would you like to point out which society this might be? Claire, is this somewhere in the Western world? England? Wales? Maybe the Irish? You know, those crazy Irish people. No, that might be in China. I just saying.
And I could very easily go on denying these things that I believe, just as I could have also very easily backed out of this talk.
Yes, you're giving us a lot of problems here. And obviously these are serious problems. You know, 6-year-old girls getting married and female babies getting killed and rape and all. These are, what is feminism going to do? What are they doing right now, Claire, in 2017 to solve these problems? Could you list that out for us?
Because of the fears and reservations that I had about doing this. But like Emma Watson said, if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? So I stand before you today able to proudly say that I am a feminist. I understand that feminism is the movement for the equality of the sexes.
No, it's not.
And that the issues feminists advocate for pertain to both genders.
Bullshit. And besides, you already got a bad point there. There's more than 2 genders, sweetie. Haven't you been paying attention?
I believe that in order for ground to be made on this issue, both men and women must be comfortable associating themselves with the cause and with the word itself.
No. It's not going to happen. Feminism is maybe 20% of women in the United States and some men, and they're fucking crazy people. All of the problems they complain about in the United States have been solved for decades. Granted, there are problems overseas. You won't point out which countries marry 6-year-old girls off, but I think we both know which ones they are, don't we, Claire?
Now, I realize that this would mean changing the way we think and feel as a society.
No.
When the word feminism is brought up in a conversation.
No.
And I, of all people, understand that this may seem difficult.
It's not only difficult, it's impossible. Feminism went from a movement that had a point to a bunch of whining, bitching, and in some cases, lesbian butch dykes shaving their hair with tattoos and face jewelry and making their hair oddball colors, bitching about non-existent problems in their lives. That's what feminism means to me in the United States and the Western world, Claire.
However, I believe it doesn't need to be. For this type of change to be ignited, I believe all it would take is one spark, one conversation.
No.
Maybe you're sitting there today, and just like I was, you're not a feminist, but yet something I've said has resonated with you on some level.
No, not at all.
If this is the case, I urge you to keep the conversation going.
We can talk all day. We could take up oxygen and breathe and, warm the global warming with our CO2 and do all this other bullshit. Talk only goes so far. Tell me, what is feminism doing about the problems you mentioned? In the Middle East, where they're selling 6-year-old girls off to marriage. In China, where girl babies are murdered. What are they doing about this?
Talk to the person beside you, ask your questions, seek more information, all the while asking yourself, if not me, then who? Oh, and if not now, then when?
You bring up some interesting problems in the world, Claire. I understand and I'm completely with you. Feminism in the United States has no point. Feminism in the United States doesn't go around protesting about things. Are they at the Saudi Arabian embassy right now protesting because women can't drive or vote? No. Are they at the Chinese embassy because young children are being murdered because they're girls? No. What are they doing? They're bitching about mansplaining and manspreading and sexist air conditioning and pink toys. That's what they're doing. And that's why the movement is irrelevant in the Western world. Good luck with your college education. I hope you can avoid the feminist insanity. You seem like a sharp young lady. Please don't become a crazy feminist. James Maxwell, thanks for listening.